Schools of thought, according to Scholz and Mintzberg. Schools of thought are looking at the same process from every possible angle. Hopefully, together they will enable managers to see through this process. This table compares the schools of thought from Mintzberg and Scholz. Basic questions help to identify the school of thought. Schools of thought according to Scholz. Consideration of the organization or group. Strategic school, mechanical school, organic school, cultural school, intelligence school, and the visual school. Strategic school. Question about goals and means. What can be done better? Comparable to positioning and entrepreneurial school. Mechanical school. Doing things right or doing the right things. Organization is seen as a mechanism. What is broken is repaired, investing as little effort as possible. It does not ask about the goals. Organic school of thought. The organization is a plant, has growth phases, holistic view. Organization has a past, systems theory, exploring the laws of nature and transferring it to the organization. Cultural school of thought. The focus is on people. Cultural analysis is a used tool. Subdivision of reality into artifacts, values, and basic assumptions. Basic assumptions are ideas about space and people. Cultural school of thought. Artifacts. Building architecture, ceremonies, dress code. Values. Collective values of the members of the organization, corporate or management principles. Internalized values. Cultural school of thought. Basic assumptions. Key employees' perspectives on the organization. Definition of reality and truth. Dimensions of mental maps. Artifacts are visible. Basic assumptions are invisible. Values are partly visible and partly invisible. Artifacts and values. Artifacts are easy to observe but difficult to be deciphered. For example, building structures, internet presentations, company newsletters, cabs. Values only reflect rationalizations and aspirations. Basic assumptions. Basic assumptions reveal actual lived standards of behavior. Edgar Schein, perception, time and space perception. Mental maps are differently named in different areas of science. Program, software program, any kind of stored and repeatable logical operation, basic assumptions, pattern, standards of behavior, strategy, habit, role, abstract expression, cultural values, basic questions, paradigmas. Intelligence school. Knowledge is everything. Static component, learning. Dynamic component, where are the points where I cannot learn? Comparable with learning and cognitive school. Intelligence School. Organizational intelligence. Knowledge is split into behaviour and facts. Knowledge of an individual and knowledge of an organization. Learning as a process of unlearning. Virtual school. Everything is possible. Virtual perspective consists of mechanical view, organic view, cultural view, intelligent view, strategic perspective. Thinking schools according to Mintzberg. We have 10 schools: design school, planning school, positioning school, entrepreneurial school, cognitive school, learning school, power school, environmental school, configuration school, and the culture school. This picture tries to visualize the process. We are starting on the left side and then we are moving to the right side. On the top we can see the environmental school, which has a very far away perspective, and we have the power school on the bottom, which is really digging into the details and finding out power structures. Positioning school. Starting discipline economics, industrial organization, military history. Motto: only the facts, please. The positioning school looks back at the fixed data, which is subject to an analysis, in order to then feed the black box of strategy design with it. On the other hand, the planning, design, and entrepreneurial schools emerge from the black box one after the other. Planning school. Initial discipline, technology, urban planning, system theory, cybernetics. Motto: doing something at the right time saves grief and suffering. The planning school looks ahead, but only in order to turn the strategies that have somehow emerged in a different way into a program. Design school. Starting discipline not available. Architecture as a metaphor. Motto: look before you do the plunge. Entrepreneurial school. Starting discipline none, although the first papers are from economists. Motto: bring us to your leader. The design school is looking further ahead. She has a strategic outlook, while the entrepreneurial school looks both beyond and aside, leaving the immediate obstacles behind and embracing a unique vision of the future. Learning school. Starting discipline, loose connection to learning theory and psychology and educational science. Chaos theory. Chaos theory states that with apparent randomness of chaotic complex systems, there are underlying patterns. Motto: if you practice, then it works. Power school. Negotiation process as a tool. Starting discipline, political science. Motto: you have to become number one. Learning and power schools look down and sink into the details. They are more focused on the trees than the forest. The learning school sees the ground and sometimes even examines the grassroots. In a sense, The Power School searches further down. Also, it does not look any deeper, under the stones, sometimes even underground, exploring places that organizations are often reluctant to reveal. Culture School, starting discipline anthropology, the study of what makes us human. Motto: the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. The Culture School looks at people in the organization. Environmental School, reactive process, starting discipline biology, political sociology. Motto: it all depends on the circumstances and environment. Configuration School, starting discipline history. Motto: everything has its history. The Environmental School takes a high position and uses a telescope, in contrast to the Cognitive School, which tries to get into the process, looking through a microscope. The Configuration School considers the history of the organization. It is looking at the process from all sides. Cognitive School, starting discipline cognitive psychology. The perception of the situation by decision makers is important. Motto: I will see it when I believe it. We can conclude that our 10 schools are looking at the same process from every possible angle. Hopefully, together they will enable managers to see through this process.